Yeah, I would just, you know, from the reminder of play, even during the times of heaviness, it really helps, you know, to like give yourself not only permission to play, but just, the perspective of how it helps us stay in our truth, in our light, and not be, kind of washed out with the grayness of the doom and gloom of the news and everything. And when you're talking about the children, I used to work with children, and yeah, they could, fight, and within 2 minutes they would just be shaking hands and be best buddies. And I'm like, how come adults, struggle so hard or hold grudges for years or what have you? And I was thinking about Ukraine, and we feel powerless other than sending the light and the love. um I mean, there's other things too, like Bob was saying, send love to our enemies. And you know I send, you know Putin is not a word many people even want to pronounce these days, but I'm like, if everyone's focusing on how much they hate him and how much evil he is, it just, A, gives him more power, and B, it's like, he probably wasn't born that way. So it's like, his inner child got wounded. And then, like, if everybody sent healing or energy to his like wounded self that like evolved to his destructive self, I'm like, if we work on, so like, even though we're in this collective consciousness and it's past karma, but we're in like new earth paradigm, and we have the ability to like not be defined by the past. So like, if, collectively or just individually, people just, you know change the angle and look at how they approach it. That's probably like one of the reasons why I don't even want to go to the rallies anymore, because the rallies almost incite the differences, or incite the, not incite, maybe that's not even the right word, but so I've been working with that. And my last thought is, with the children, and I don't know if there's any interest, like, you hear a lot of reports of the children in the bomb shelters, with their moms at night during the air raids. And, I was thinking, what comforts a child when they're distressed is like stuffed animals. So I don't know if, there's like any interest. We could maybe start collecting toys, and I'm not sure. My car is so tiny. It definitely couldn't be transported, a large amount of teddy bears and toys, but, maybe there's like a way to, you know, collect, and send off our, stuffed toys or animals, and maybe we could collaborate with other churches. It's just food for thought. So if anyone's, interested on this idea, or just can you text me or email me and figure it out.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Louise. You had a lot of like really good things in there. One of the first things that jumped out at me when you're talking was that, um, yeah, we have this gift of play to lift us up. But it reminded me like that we are essentially, we have a responsibility to play. Like it's, when we know this, when we are seekers and people that believe in the power of our thoughts to create our reality, it becomes our responsibility to do that. And I feel very lucky that I'm here in the safety of my home and able to do conscious work, conscious prayer work, affirmative prayer, holding thoughts, and for a lot of what's going on, I'm here in the state of Florida, just thinking about things that are going on around me constantly, and just reminding myself that I am that spirit that we are creating, becomes a bit of a responsibility. And it doesn't have to be like a burden responsibility. Can be a fun thing. And just remembering, like the Marianne Williamson quote, remembering who we are is as important as what we do. And so just throughout the day, every time that we remember that we're part of that divine, we're doing the work. We are, that's really what the phrase pray without ceasing is. It's just remembering who we are. The first two steps of spiritual mind treatment, recognizing that there's only the one thing, and then the second, unification, is just remembering that we are that. And I've heard, it said that Ernest Holmes said, if you just get like those two ideas firmly in your consciousness, everything else is already done. So just remembering who we are. And I really like that idea of, when they say, pray for your enemies. If we wish the highest and best for everybody, even those that we strongly disagree with, if we wish for their highest and best is the same highest and best as Spirit's highest and best. It's for all of us. And so that's the truth behind praying for our, I use air quotes, enemies. Really, there is no enemy. There is no them. It's only us. But so wishing for the highest and best is like the best prayer that we can do.